Hi guys, my name is Tamara Chambers and this is Tamara's Never Seen. It's the start of December, Christmas holiday movies, woo! And today I am watching the lovely, heartwarming Christmas classic, Die Hard. A company reached out to me for me to talk about them, and I'm pretty excited about it. One, because people watch my videos. Thank you. Two, because it's a really cool company. And three, I didn't think of a three. Okay, so the company is called graphicstock.com, and they are the internet's largest provider of graphics and images and photos that you can legally use in a review or a video or anything you're putting up on your YouTube channel. A yearly subscription to graphicstock.com is usually $99, but they're doing this holiday extravaganza discount where it's $50 off, which is pretty substantial. $50 off of $99, you do the math. I honestly can't. We will link to that, it's in the description. And then here is Die Hard.
Tamara's Never Seen.
I was expecting to think that was great and actiony because everyone says this is the best action film of all time. But it was so great and actiony, and it was the greatest action film of all time. Also, I think that we need to have an oh no counter because my notes are filled with me just saying, oh no, oh no, oh no! Literally the first note. Oh no, Trouble in Paradise. So Bruce Willis is visiting his wife Holly, and I guess they're estranged. She got a job, took the kids to go work, and he wasn't super into her having a job. More complicated than that, but that's the lump of it. He's not happy about her working. Enough to ruin their relationship. But I shouldn't be too hard on him. He's coming to visit for the holidays, which is good. See your kids on the holidays. That's important. And to get in, he has to use this touch screen, and he's so smug about this touch screen. He's like, oh, cute toy. Beep boop beep pop boo. It'd be one thing if it was something that just never came to fruition. There was no touchscreens ever, but there's touchscreens everywhere. Everywhere. Two in my immediate grasp. My phone and this camera. So maybe keep an open mind, Bruce. Bruce gets to the party. Also, I know I'm calling him Bruce and that's his real name, and Holly, and that's her character name. Hi, have we met? My name's Tamara, this is what I do. And this guy comes up to him and kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, oh, California. This movie is already super 80s-y. Like, oh, gay people, this must be California. He couldn't leave his job in New York, and she really wanted to go do this job in LA, and he's upset about that because it took his family away from him, and that's frustrating. He just has a lot of emotions, and I get that. I have a lot of emotions too. It's okay, Bruce. I wrote, oh no, holy squib, Batman. Bad guys kill all the front doormen. And holy young Alan Rickman. Whoa! Yes, Alan Rickman, you can get it. I wrote, heart emoji times a million. Stupid millennial. So they're looking for Holly's boss. They get him, and Alan and the bad guys are looking for money. The boss won't give it to them, so they shoot him. So John, being a New York cop, he sees all this happening and he goes into survival mode, and it's super cool from the get-go. He sets off this fire alarm. It's like, all right, great. Some fire guys are gonna come. Fire guys being the technical term that you use. He kills the thug that comes up to get him, and then he sends him down the elevator. But he's on the elevator, and he's like tallying how many bad guys there are and getting their names so he can mess with their heads. John sends out a broadcast trying to get help and backup and police officers to come aid in the situation. Then they send a cop to go do some recon, and who is it? It's Carl Winslow, that's who. Oh, yes. But at this point, all the bad guys are coming up to the roof to get him, and he's climbing through these vents, and then he takes his gun and he secures himself and climbs down and jumps to this other side, and then oh no! It's very stressful. Also at this point, I needed to go get another snack because obviously, and I paused it and it was still an hour and a half left of this movie, and I was already so stressed. I don't even know what this is in reference to. This note just says, holy shit, oh my god, oh lord, wow! Then he gets shot at through the vents. Oh sweet mother of cats. It's also what I wrote. I was on fire when I was writing these notes today. I think I'm just gonna call him Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow comes and John tries to get his attention, not successfully. So he drops a body on his car, cause you know, effective. Also, what is Jesus' middle name? Because 4 times already someone has said, Jesus H. Christ. Is it Hoover? Jesus Hoover Christ? Jesus Howard Christ? Henry? Jesus hip 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 hippopotamus Christ. Then you hear the awesome line, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Oh, this is in my notes. This is where I realized that it was Carl Winslow. I didn't write it first. It just says Carl Winslow. I'm loving my notes in this episode, you guys. Also, Argyle, John's driver, is still chilling in the lot, waiting for him to call and say if he needs to go or not. So, it's a pretty chill job, Argyle. Keep that as long as possible. So Powell, Carl Winslow, is talking to John on the radio that he has, and John isn't telling him that he's a cop, and I don't understand why he's withholding that information, because Powell's commander-in-chief, his like boss, is there, and he's an idiot, and he doesn't believe Powell when he's like, yeah, he's probably a cop because he seems really smart, and he's like, no, people do things our way, so we're cool, tough LA cops. And it would like all be way easier if John would just be like, actually, I'm a cop, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you're an idiot. I don't understand that at all. Oh no. Oh no, the tank car blow up scene, they send guys in and then they just blow him up. The bad guy terrorists just blow him up. I say him, but there could have been like 20 people in that tank. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, and then John throws the computer with the explosives down the elevator shaft. Oh no! Stressful. Then you see Dwayne, the police chief, Powell's police chief, being the actual worst. He's the worst. And then John just roasts the crap out of him through his walkie-talkie. Yes, if you're not part of the pollution, if you're not part of the pollution, well then good for you, because pollution is terrible. If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Powell, no. Dwayne, so many names. Words are hard. This is when Ellis, who is the guy who wants to be with Holly, is like, let me take care of it, since your husband is messing everything up. Ellis is the worst. I know I said Dwayne was the worst, but Ellis and Dwayne are like a conjoint worst team. Then Agent Johnson and Special Agent Johnson, no relation, shows up to take over because Dwayne is the worst. Maybe I should have the worst counter too. It's too late. Oh no, it's too late for that. Then you see Hans trying to put explosives, well, what you find out is explosives on the roof for later, and he leaves his gun and he just goes up on his little merry way, like, this is gonna be fine. And John is like, no, it's not. Alan Rickman, you're fine, but you're simple. It's a Parks and Recreation quote, which is my favorite show in the entire world. So they go back and forth. Alan Rickman, Hans, is like, oh, my name is Clay, and I'm a good old-fashioned American. But John knows the whole time, and he gives him a gun, but it's not loaded, and then he tries to shoot him, and it's just great. It's a great scene. It's so good. Also, I haven't mentioned so far the no shoes thing, but it's so good. It's such a good touch. Such an uncomfortable bit that you're like, what? Just never leave anywhere without your shoes. Always wear shoes. I never wear shoes. So all of the posse comes up to save Hans, and John gets glass in his feet, and it's just stressful. You can feel the wrap-up of the movie kind of happening. And John apologizes to Holly through Carl, through the walkie-talkie. He's like, please tell her this. Carl Winslow, just being Carl Winslow, is like, you'll get to tell him yourself, buddy. I love that part. Then, some reporters find out who John and Holly are, that they're both in the building, and that they have children. So they decide to go tell the children what's going on, and interview them, and put them on TV, and it's so irresponsible. It's so annoying. I don't enjoy this part at all, in a good way, because I know I'm supposed to feel bad things about these reporters, but I don't, it's not good journalism. I don't like it. Not one bit. And then that ends up ruining everything, because then Hans finds out that Holly is his wife. So Holly is right here, and Hans goes, Mrs. McLean, how nice to make your acquaintance. Like into the ceiling. That was so dramatic, like 100% for dramatic effect, and I loved it. So there's still bad guys amok everywhere. John gets shot in the shoulder by one of them. I've lost track what's going on. Oh no, and then it's just a mess of like John trying to get everyone off the roof because now he knows there's explosives there, and the cops are in helicopters and they think he's the bad guy because he's like shooting everybody to get down, and they're shooting at him, and it's just, oh no. And then this is the most badass scene ever. And that's just science, folks. That's just science. They explode the roof, the hostages are safe, John is still there because the police are shooting at him, so he ties a fire hose around himself, he jumps off of this giant building, and then he's like hanging there, people are shooting at him, he's shooting in to a window and like breaks it in, and he flies in, but then the fire hose like thing he's like pulling him back and he like unties himself and it's very aggressively stressful. So cool! Oh, yes. I wrote in my notes, Ben Wyatt, whoa, wow. Which is another Parks and Rec reference. If you haven't watched that, you need to watch that show. Ben Wyatt always goes, whoa, 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 whoa. That's the sound I wanted to convey while writing my notes. I'm so sorry, but Alan Rickman saying yippee-ki-yay motherfucker is way, way more satisfying than Bruce Willis saying yippee-ki-yay motherfucker. Both very satisfying, but Alan Rickman, that's my argument. So John shoots him, saves Holly, and Alan Rickman falls out of a window. So all the policemen are outside and they just see Hans falling out of the window and crashing on a car. And Dwayne goes, oh, I hope that's not a hostage. It's not, Dwayne! John and Carl Winslow have a really nice moment where they're like, you both, like they got each other through the night, and it was a super cool thing. He knew exactly who he was when he walked up. It was really great. Well-written point. And then Dwayne decides to get into John's face. It's like, all these things happened because you got in the way of police work, blah, 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 blah. And then, this was the most unexpected part of the entire movie for me, was one of the bad guys somehow survived something. Did he fall out of a window? I don't even remember at this point. But he gets up off of the ground, pulls out a gun, and Carl Winslow, if he doesn't just take care of business, like the Carl Winslow that he is, and shoots him. And there's this great backstory about how his character like shot a kid and how he hasn't been able to shoot anyone ever since, so he's been doing office work. But to save his great friend John, he shoots the bad guy, and it's brilliant. And then a reporter comes up and is like asking them questions in their face, and Holly just decks him in the side of the mouth. It's excellent. My notes say, WTF, so good. It keeps getting better, OMG. They kiss, OMG. At this point, I'm not even reading sentences. I'm just like, oh, wow, oh my, wow. Argyle's like, if this is your idea of Christmas, then I've got to see your New Year's. I'm like, if this is your idea of Die Hard, then I've got to see every sequel ever invented. Also, I think it's just hilarious that he is allowed to just walk away. They drive off. Like an entire building is exploded and there are many dead bodies, but they're like, we're just gonna go, bye. I'm wondering how the sequels work in this universe. Is it kind of like Taken, where it's like, this shouldn't happen more than once, but they somehow made it. I've got Christmas movies that I like, guys. I like Krampus. I like Krampus. This is such a good Christmas movie. I saw that it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, it's so long. Oh, my life is so hard. But it was amazing. Next week, I am gonna do a hopefully awesome video on something that the Black Nerd is going to just be delighted about. It was actually his idea. Don't forget to go to graphicsstock.com/holidays for $50 off. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Oh, and Ike has no intention of being here. I'm gonna make you such a good card with graphicsstocks.com/holidays. Bye guys, see you next week.